Hey all, I'm Lauren, your host today for this interesting trip down memory lane. Have you ever leaned over an old photograph and felt it whisper a story? Well, October 20th in American car history is full of whispers, breakthroughs, disasters, ambitions, and today we're listening in. Let's roll the clock back. Imagine Detroit in 1902. On October 20th, the assembly of what's often called the first Cadillac was reportedly completed. Now, history debates the exact date, but many credits this day as when Cadillac truly came to life. Think of it like a birthday party where everybody's not sure which candle to light, but the spirit is there. That moment marked a shift. Precision engineering, luxury, and ambition in one metal shell. Jump ahead a good few decades, it's 1965, and the automotive world is waking up to something bigger than just horsepower. On October 20th, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Motor Vehicle Air Pollution Control Act, putting in motion the first federal standards for car exhaust. This was a seismic moment, like telling cars, your freedom ends where clean air begins. That same day, across the ocean in Sweden, the final Volvo PV544 rolled off its assembly line at the Lundy plant. To think of it, one car leaps into the future with new laws. Another quietly bows out. The PV544 had been the dependable old friend of Volvo for years, sturdy, safe, familiar, and this was its farewell. Now brace yourself for a darker chapter. October 20th, 1978. Firestone recalled over 7 million Firestone 500 tires. So, at that time, the largest recall in US history. The 500 was supposed to be cutting edge, modern, the company's answer to the radial revolution, but it turned into a catastrophe. Tread separations, accidents, congressional hearings. If a car is only as safe as its tires, this was a stark reminder that innovation without reliability can bite back hard. A decade later, October 20th, 1988, Nissan dropped a bombshell. They announced the third-generation Maxima, pitching it as a four-door sports car. Before that, the Maxima had been compact, modest. Now it stretched, it roared, it dared. It represented Nissan's leap into bigger ambition, blending comfort and performance. Let me tell you a few more stories in between, the ones I dug up and polished like hidden gems. Picture the 60s again, when automakers grumbled at regulations and emissions mandates. Innovation had to run through narrow gates. Some car lines vanished, others adapted, and the American auto industry entered what many call the malaise era. Though the term spans years, pivotal pivot points often cluster around these mid-October moments. Back to those earlier years, October 20th, 1902, wasn't just about Cadillac. It was about what Cadillac stood for, ambition rising from the ashes of the failed Henry Ford Company, with Henry Leland stepping in. This car was more than wheels and engine, it was a statement. And in that same spirit of expansion, let's mention how Ford's influence was spreading. By 1904, Ford struck a deal to build cars in Walkersville, Ontario, adding international reach to what began as a Michigan venture. Though not exactly U.S. soil, it's part of the continental ripple effect. One more twist. Though I couldn't find solid confirmation for every year, the archives list that in subsequent decades, star exhibits like Buick's NK Way, which would become the North American Envision, had launches and sales that tie into October 20th in some markets. Reminders that car history is a global web. And that brings us full circle. From the dawn of Cadillac in 1902 to regulatory battles, final production runs, recalls, bold new models, October 20th has been a quiet stage for some very loud acts in car history. Which one surprised you most? The recall, the emission law, the Cadillac birth, or the Maxima bold move? Drop a comment below. If you want more of these This Day in Auto History stories, hit subscribe and let me know which date you want next. I'll see you in the next ride down memory lane.